It was wrong.
Oh, I thought it
Use
was
the
way
formula.
black.
Which way? Which
It's
one?
like
do you
a
want me
A
to go
squared
from?
plus B squared, C squared thing.
Probably don't.
What's the formula for the area of the triangles?
And you have E.
Use that formula.
Oh, it's not too more.
You never know.
It's somewhere in there. I'm gonna go over here. Let's just say we have a line.
That'll work. You might want to start with a line there, actually.
Who's writing about me?
Alright, Cody, that's none of your problem right now.
It kind of is actually.
Yeah, not initially. You can worry about that another time.
Okay. I don't know where my lines are.
I was wondering if you were taking note of that.
We're just going right there. Good guess. Yeah, that's good guess. I don't like this thing. It's too long.
It's hot.
It's a little long and floppy.
You should find a way to make that stay in place. Like, see how this has that screw? Keeps
I
it
should
in.
just be able to take
Well, it's too long in the.
It's
It's not
called
gonna work.
Chinese.
You want to start from the other end of that line there, yeah.
something like that.
Perfect.
There was a political cartoon, and it was
It's your turn. I
this
just
whole
broken.
thing.
Okay.
Mine is not quite big enough. Okay, where's my argument?
So I bought that from all that storage. And mine is
95 times 6.
There's not right
Okay, you dropped stuff out of your formula. Oh, no, there you go.
Just twist the.
Okay. You're not playing the formula, like it's supposed to be played.
That's a good thing. Yeah.
So you write A equals, so on and so forth. Alright, now what do we have? What do you have 195 next to
because I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you're figuring out how many seats.
Yeah. But
So
then
you have
you have that
you have-
whole thing left over. Do they want it?
How many square feet do you want to put? 195? Alright, so it will cover, it says 125 square feet, right? So,
But do
will
you have
one
that-
packet be enough?
No. Is that all you need?
So, you know that one packet isn't enough.
Yeah, so,
Will she need 3?
no, but do they want the fraction of a thing?
No,
or
they just
the
want
whole?
so many whole seat packets.
Okay, then I'm gonna change mine.
Yep. Because it's very hard to buy a half a seat packet. Alright, so we're going to start here on number 5, because we did number 4 in class. And I looked at all your triangles and I was impressed. So, number 5 on page 9. 19%.
Where, number
What is this?
Number 5 on page 9 is 19%.
Oh, you number 4?
Yes. Number 6 is 50%. Number 7 is 46 and a half.
I have 47.
Should have a proportion 1/2 equals number 93.
I have 47. But are you supposed to round
No, not necessarily.
Still correct.
Take a half point for unnecessary rounding.
those?
Number
I
eight.
wouldn't call it like unnecessary.
Well, I mean, if they played around, don't, generally speaking. They'll tell you to round if you need to round. Number 8 is 192, and number 9
Oh,
Number 9 is 1/3.
I went 26 over 78, and then I went n over 100. I didn't want to do
I should have probably
Yeah, so
should
in that
have figured
case-
out something was fishy when I came out with a number lower than 120. But
I got 120 for number 8.
Yeah, you probably should have caught that. What do you have for 8?
120.
120. Okay. So this one should have been set up like this. 120 over n equals 5 over 8.
oh, yeah.
So
Really?
multiply by 8 divided by 5.
Okay.
Is over of
But the one I'm worried about is number 9.
number 9. Yeah, so you were supposed to start with 26 over 78. and then just reduce it.
Yeah, I went n over 100.
Yeah. No, count them wrong.
Well, I'm gonna say what
I thought
fraction
about
is
it
the-
for a while.
Whenever they say what fraction, it's just really inconvenient.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess ask questions if you're confused. A, 18x minus 12, B, negative 45, n minus 20, C is 14, and D is 64.
What was it again?
18x minus 12. 11 is 1, 12 is rational, 13 mode, 14 right, 15 constant, 16, 43,560, 1 mile is 260, my bad, 640 acres. 17 is 2.54, B is 3.8, 18 is the upside down T, and B is 231. Number 19, the answer is 2 seed packets. 2, yeah.
I had that. Do I have to count that wrong?
What, do you have a part of the seed packet?
No, I rounded it to 2, but I had 1.56.
Did I make a note?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fine. If they don't tell you to round, don't, generally speaking. I mean, if they don't, my bad. So, in a situation like this, where, like, buying a part of a seed packet is very, very inconvenient, because you can't just walk into a store and say, I want half of a seed packet, because I don't need the whole thing. They're really good, just take them.
He sells me for half price.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not going to do
I
that.
only
either.
want half of it, so like half
Can I
off.
just look, please? They're not going to. So in a situation where you're going to be buying something, you have to figure out how many to buy. You always round up. Number 20, I think I looked at everybody.
You're looking at go into.
I'll give you your coordinate set. So you should have 1 and 6, 2 and 4, 3 and 2, 4 and 0. No, Chris was checking those wide open. You're staring off into lovely, which is fine. But now you can say what? 1 and 6, 2 and 4, 3 and 2, 4 and 0. 21 to 23 I did look at for everybody. 24.
I thought I had one wrong.
Hmm?
There's one wrong here. But I quick changed it. I had one in there.
Okay.
But I changed that.
Apparently didn't look at that one. We'll skip on past it anyway. I'll give you that one for free. 24. You'll all know very well this. And we're running out of time. 24. Your answer should be x equals 3. B is the square root of 3 equals y.
I hate these.
And C is 3 equals C. 25A is 4A minus 2B equals 1. B is negative 3x cubed minus 1.
I'm trying to find the equal.
Random. My bad. B is negative 3x cubed minus x squared plus 3x. C is 6x plus 3y minus 2.
Does it have to be in that order for number B or letter B?
You have them, but they're not in that order?
Yeah.
Not necessarily, no, I'm not gonna count that wrong. They just go, they all go on biggest exponents to smallest, just for future reference. 26, the answer is 10 over 21. B is negative 32, and C is 8. 27, 326 gallons. You should have used volume equals base times height, volume equals pi r squared.
Volume equals DH.
Capital BH.
There's two of them here, I only use one for mine. Only one.
No. And then you should change BH into pi r squared.
Oh, I only have fire squared. Just something else.
Write in volume equals capital BH for that. Do you have the answer right for 26?
Yeah.
Good. 28. 28 is 48x to the 6th, b 56, b squared, c cubed. C is negative 5, b negative 14x minus 28.
I have a bad grade on it. Yeah, I have a bad grade.
Number 26 have negatives and I have
Say what?
number 26 they have negatives.
26A? Yeah, that would be incorrect. See, when you multiply two negatives, you get a positive.
Well, I gotta think about it. Is that wrong?
Yes, please. 30, 31, 32, 33. Eight. 65.
Is there ever going to be a lesson in math that is
No, not likely. You want that? I really doubt it. There's only 100 problems, but.
The thing is, it's
Well,
like one off per.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it's not many you can play wrong. You got it. Oh,
Yeah, no
that's
problems, no wrong.
So should I give you extra worksheets so you
it's
can
like
have more problems?
it's like a linear proportion.
Okay.
Kind of.
Well, I lost.
I
it.
just
How did you lose
rather
it?
have more less problems.
There is 65 problems, your number of right problems over your number of wrong problems.
Okay, I don't remember how to do this at all.
So 65
One.
times possible.
61 divided by.
So you subtract how many points you have.
From 65.
So wait, from 65.
65 minus 40. And then you divide by 65.
And then divide by 65.
We rounded up.
I did something wrong.
Wait, I did
got
something wrong.
25%.
85, that's not right.
No. So you get 65 minus however many you got wrong,
I did.
which is
61.
61.
And then I
And
divided
61 divided by 65.
And I got 25%.
And that's not correct. 61 divided by 65. Try it again.
Minus 2. Goodbye.
It comes out the same thing. I get 25%.
A 98. I got a 97. How many did you get wrong? 2?
I got.
How did you do that?
I don't know, you did it wrong. So I can do your
I'm
number.
gonna see what I was
doing.
doing.
I was
I
doing
was
16
doing the way
divided
you
by.
said. I was
No,
doing
your number, the right ones.
Yeah.
So
I was
what
going
did you do?
16 divided by 8. You're at 65. That could be it.
All right.
I'm more than happy.
So we know how to reduce. We know how to reduce fractions. These are actually easier than normal fractions. Okay, just so that you know, these are actually really simple.
Says Grinch.
How would you reduce this fraction?
By 2.
By 3.
Are you with us?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, how would you reduce this fraction? What would it reduce to?
1.
Right. This would reduce to 1 over 2, all right? So anytime you see a number in a fraction, you have to do that. We're going to start working with letters because that's obviously way more fun. And we're going to use these letters. And I need you guys to actually pay attention rather than start working ahead, like I normally say, but sometimes it doesn't work. All right. 35n squared over 7n to the 5th. All right, so we're going to break this up into its parts. We're going to set it up like this. All right? 35 times n times n over 7 times n times n times n times n times n. All right, so we have 5 n's and we have 7 over 35. So the first things first is we start by reducing 35 over 7. It shouldn't be very hard.
5 over 1.
All right, so we get 5 on the top, we get 1 on the bottom. All right, and now we go like this. Anytime we have n's crossing over, anytime we have an n on the top, we can cross out an n on the bottom, right? So you cross out your matching number. So you wind up here with, we can call this n to the 3rd power. Rather, see, we start with n to the 5th. No, we only have 3 of them left. So we have n to the 3rd. And 1, we go 1 times n to the 3rd, but we don't have to, right? So what we're going to do, rather than that, is just leave it here, end of the third. That's on the bottom. On the top, we write it like this. We write our 5. And then since those are crossed out, we don't have to write anything. So our final answer is 5 over n to the third. So it's just a normal fraction for your numbers. And
So
for
you
your
just make it
variables,
more complicated.
you just need to cross them out. It's actually not that
Oh.
complicated. It's the same exact principle. Let's do another one.
For, we do number 2 in our book. 1B.
We're going to do number 2 in my book.
Yeah, 1B.
See this, for example, m to the 8th over m to the, what do they have, the 5th. All right, so this is going to be an interesting one because we're going to wind up, Leah, hang on,
I'm making one.
pay attention, you make lines later. All right, we get m times m times m times m times m, ooh boy. We get 5, 6, 7, 8. All right? And down here, we get 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so now it's the same thing. Cross out, cross out, cross out, cross out, cross out. Now the problem is, we don't have anything left on the bottom, right?
So you just have m cubed.
No. Because of the way fractions are. So if you have this, for example, remember this situation, 35 over 7? This reduced to 5 over 1, correct? Correct?
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. How much are we doing that? I want to understand the reasoning first, and then we'll start reducing farther. All right? So this reduced to 5 over 1, which does reduce to 5. All right? But like I said, I want to understand the reasoning first. So this would reduce to, what would this reduce to?
M cubed over 1.
M cubed over 1. And now we can reduce this as well to M cubed. I just want to make sure we're getting all the steps in. All right.
Yeah, you're going to write that out because for like B, I already know the answer.
I want you to write them out to start with. I would say, well, we'll address that problem later. But to start with, I want you to just simply write it down. Let's do number 1.
B
Yeah.
is
Hang on. Cody, come up here and do it on the board for me. And you won't have to write it out. You can just write your answer back. So your answer, your question is 13b over 39b.
where you got. Oh, they already did that one.
Oh, they already did that one? Huh. Then we'll have to do number 2.
Where B? Where is
Ah, okay, yeah, we'll do b. So that's c to the 5th over c cubed.
That b is absolutely usually hard one.
All right, Cody, you write that down. Richard, you'll be able to do number. I don't want to do all of these for you.
How much? There's a whole bunch more in the back of the book.
that? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right, you do. Isn't that fun?
You just get to shoot them.
Bang, bang.
Yes, remember to get your.
And it's 1 down, and it's 2 down, and it's 3 down, and it's 4 down.
So yeah, that's actually c squared.
Whatever.
That's all right.
That's
That's fine. All right. And well, we can give everybody a shot at this. Richard, we'll
Yes.
do 2a, which is 9y cubed over 6y squared. Come up here and do this one for me, please. Yes, sir. Precisely. And Chris, yes, you have 2x. Well, you could, you sub it right up, doesn't matter. 2x to the third. All right, go ahead.
Dx squared y. That's not the problem. Is it?
For b, 2x cubed. Yeah, that's an x here in the end of y. Make sure you get that straight.
Yeah, it's supposed to be an x, I didn't write it wrong. No, it's not that.
All right, so now
Yeah,
you're right.
Still trying to figure out this thing, so.
Nine y over x, that's correct. Leah, you're the lucky winner of the next one. 3a.
Call it lucky.
Well, I didn't. That's what matters.
What'd you say?
A squared. B squared. Over AB. All right, come on up here. Perfect. Thank you very much. All right. That's good enough for me right now. If you have questions, something, if you're struggling with something, please ask me about it rather than forward ahead.
No, I'm struggling with math, so.
Okay, but do you have a specific question?
No.
Okay, so then I can't have it. All right. Algebra. Let us start with lesson 13. You get some.
You used to come, you said ask you if I need help. Well, I need help.
Okay, which question?
Number 6.
I don't think we covered that one. Hang on, let me look at it.
Yes, I do. It has a star.
Looks really hard.
Oh, that one.
It's the fact that adds star.
That just like means.
Help.
You have to have all
You can leave that one for last or not.
What are you supposed to do?
Leave it for last to start with.
Yeah, are you supposed to? What are you supposed to use your calculator to do?
1, 2, 3, 4. All right. These. I want the rise and run of this line.
Rises
The rise is 4. Positive or negative? Why?
Does it count?
It's a positive slope.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not bent this direction.
Okay. And the run? 3. So if we have a rise and run and we calculate it out and it looks like this, rise and run of 6 over 3.
2 over 1.
Right. You can reduce that to 2 over 1. Same with any refraction. A vertical slope, we call that what?
Undefined.
Undefined. And a horizontal one,
Zero.
0 slope. All right. Number 1 for lesson 13 is 1. We have 2 over 2 equals 1. Number 2 is negative 5 over 3. Number 3 is 0. 0 slope. Number 4, x cubed minus x equals plus 6. X cubed minus x plus 6. Number 5, negative 12m cubed plus 13m squared plus 34m minus 35. 6, x cubed minus x squared minus x minus 15. 7, negative m cubed plus 8.
I see what I did wrong.
8 when that happens?
I have negative 4 in there.
Oh, yeah. 8 is x cubed times the square root of x. 9m times the square root of m.
M, I have it squared.
No, because you started like this.
And I just wrote them in my head.
Yeah, that's the problem. So if you're rooting this, you take these two and you turn them into m. And the square root of m. So your answer is that one. 10 is y to the power of 9. 11 is,
10. Y to the power of 9.
yes.
What would I have?
Should have gone 27 divided by 3. 11 is w squared times the cube root of w squared. 12, negative 12x plus 1. 13 is 9k squared plus 9k plus 1. 14, 4k squared minus 4. 15, 7m squared plus 5m plus 3.
14 and 4 and 4 k squared minus 1 minus 4.
Minus 1 times 4?
Minus 4.
You minus 1 instead of minus 4?
That's a minus 4 in there too.
I don't know where you got that number at all. You guys changed the outcome then, so it would be wrong. 15, like I said, was 7m squared plus 5m plus 3. 16, 6su times s squared t minus 2tu squared plus 6u. 17 is 7a squared b times negative 5b plus 4. So why didn't they make that negative 7a squared b? Because I thought that's the rule they were following.
It's a negative 7 squared.
They do not have a negative 7a squared b.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's because that's
Only 35 was negative.
Right, we're supposed to skip 36 if we didn't.
I mean, yeah, it was 17
okay.
of 35.
There should also be a 1 in there, I feel, but I sure can't find one in the answer key.
No, no, no.
We did that one, we did it in class.
17.
Yeah, we did it in class.
Okay. Then I'm going to just walk away. Oh yeah, that's because there's the 3 and the 1. Okay. 18 is 3a squared plus 15a minus 42. 19 is 6y squared plus 25y plus 14. 20. 12b squared minus 17b plus 6. 21. Negative 5p cubed over 9m squared mn squared 5p cubed over 9m squared n squared, and it's negative. 22 is negative m cubed, negative 7m cubed n. 23, m squared p over n squared. 24, your pairs should be negative 7, negative 8, negative 5, negative 1, negative 3, negative 6.
Negative 6? Yeah.
Negative 3, 6. Let's say negative for all the rest of it. Should be a positive slope on the, through this quadrant. Something similar to that. 25, your pairs are 5, negative 3, 7, 0, and 9, 3.
7, 0, I have 7, 2. And 9, negative 6.
9, negative 6. Must have been doing your equation on the shape wrong. Your equation is 3x minus 2y equals 21.
I think we would come out like that and trying.
Your graph, they have it here, like such. To the bottom right. 9, 3. No, it's 9, 3.
No,
It's 7, 0, 9, 3, 5,
I have
negative 3.
positive 6 on my line, but I have negative 6 on, I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, you did your math wrong, obviously.
So 2 wrong?
Yeah, that's really good.
Hey, what if I have 9, 3, but I graph? Okay.
My line came out straight, that's all I know. 'Cause I have a straight line.
We'll discuss that here in a second. Alright, 26 should have a dot on the 5 with an arrow to the right. 27 should have a circle on negative 18 with an arrow to the right. 28 should have a dot on 1.5, arrow to the left. 29, circle on 0, arrow to the left, circle on 8, arrow to the right. It's a disjunction. 30 is a conjunction with a dot on 20 and 37. 31 is negative 1 is less than, x is less than 5. And 32 is 5 is less than x, which is less than
I
20.
think my time was the end of that one. I saw it.
I have,
Say what?
I do too. I have a line under this.
Yeah, it isn't equal or less than. Damn it, I was busy hearing the thing over here. Equal to or less than. So it's 5x 20. So that's
33.
Say again?
5 squared.
5 squared.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
5 times 5, right?
Bingo. 5.
Dude, they got a flaw in here or something because this is not going to work.
Okay, well, then we'll talk about it here in a while.
It's already 18.
Hold the conversation. If you wanted something else, I'll be with you in a minute. So 40, slope of negative 1. 41 is a slope of 3 over 2. 42 is a negative 1/2. Yes.
I have
It is a
negative
negative
1.
slope.
I thought you were saying 1/2 is everything.
For 42.
Yeah.
So the way they write this, to be real honest, is like this. But that's because negative 1 over 2 is the same thing.
Oh, so it is
It
negative.
is a negative 1.
I thought you were saying
It's a negative
the
slope.
slope is negative.
The slope is a negative, yes. But because it's a negative slope, it would be a negative number.
I was trying negative and then
Yeah.
negative.
Oh, that way. Okay, just write the slope as a negative. It's a negative slope. So for 43, for example, it would be a negative slope. And the answer is negative 3 over 2. Did you do 43, 44 to 47?
We
So,
did that one.
yes, that's correct.
here, and I don't know what I did wrong. You ever come look at that?
I don't know what I worked on.
Well, what was 41?
41. Negative 5, 2 cubed, over
41.
41. Negative 1,
Negative 3 over 2 is 41.
41.
It was negative three?
I mean, no.
Positive.
It's just a number 2. I'm sorry. Oh, okay.
It is. It is. Is there kind of problem that I was in America? I was just really all along the way.
I can do it.
There's multiplication.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the lesson today to see how pretty I should get. No.
No, 2 of them.
Oh, I did them both, but I'm afraid that they're gonna be wrong too, because I did them the same way I did those other ones.
How did you do
Number 4.
Just fine.
Oh. What? You did your addition wrong.
Every single one of them?
Number 4. Number 5.
It's negative 12.
Negative 12. Yeah, you must be negative 12. There's negative 4m, but it got swallowed up by a line. Plus 29, which there again was probably just swallowed. It was supposed to be negative 8. Yeah. So there's a negative that got missed there.
That way still, it just works as just in there. Or like
Yeah,
that,
you were just
missing
basically
stuff.
you were missing negatives mostly.
Okay.
X cubed minus, and here you have a positive. Yeah, there's supposed to be a negative 3x squared. Yeah, like right here, this is supposed to be negative 3x squared. This is supposed to be. Yeah, here's a negative 10m. So this should come out to a negative 8. So thing, this one, the top one is a negative 2x squared.
So this way's right, I was just
Mhm.
doing
Yeah,
sloppy.
you were just dropping things. So the work for today is we're squaring binomials, which honestly is simply just multiplying a binomial by itself. So binomial obviously has this. It's a binomial because it has 2 parts. And if we want to square it, we just use FOIL. First outer inner last. We set up this. 4x plus 3. 4x plus 3. First. 16x squared. Outer.
Oh, maybe that's,
Unit.
let's go back.
It's not. It's 16x squared plus 10x.
That's easy.
Was that like a problem?
No, I made that one up. So that's obviously that system. They have another system they wish to teach you here about it. Without, so you want to write it out like that.
I'd rather I did that like
That's a pretty foolproof way to do it. I will tell you what the second system is because that's my job. All right. So basically, let's start with the lesson from the problem from today: x plus 2 squared. So what we do is we simply square the first term. So that would be, so we square the x, it would be x squared. That's the first step. And then double the product of both terms. So that means,
X squared.
So that's the,
Yeah.
so basically,
Four
so
X
it's like
squared.
this. Basically, we write it out like this. We multiply, yeah, like this.
So 4x.
We would go like x times 2, and then we double that. So x times 2 is going to be 2x. Right?
Yeah.
So that's the product of both terms multiplying by each other and double it. So we go 2x doubled, which would give us 4x. So we would go x squared plus 4x. That's the second step. And the third step is squaring the second interval. So we go x times 2 and double that, which is what we do when we do the FOIL as well. Very often, if there's a system that works, I hesitate to change it.
That's a lot more complicated.
So what it is it's more head work. This, you can write it out easily. It's the same system as what you've been using already. So this is just, outer is going to be 2x, inner is going to be 2x, and then the last is going to be 4. So you wind up with the same situation. Just that notice if you did a double, you just multiply x times 2 and then double it. So, so x squared plus 4x plus
Can I have a for
Go ahead, work that as, this is kind of a 3 points a piece. It's cheating a little bit,
3?
but I think you need a little cheating.
82%?
Say what?
82%. Better than 77.
That's just-
I need help with the-
That was 77, I thought it was 76. 77 the other day. I went up to the 82 the other day.
I feel like I should talk to him, but I'm not going to.
I need help on phone.
Okay. You need help with your myself.
This one. I drew the picture and it
Good.
still didn't.
He is working.
Yeah, I need help with that.
Ask Victor.
I need help.
The last bit.
Because I need help too. I need help on 6, sort of. I think I kind of
How many plants is it?
No, we're sitting
Plants,
at
flowers,
the
3 feet apart. The first flower.
and surfing on
Inches from the edge. All right, let's go with this. Draw your picture out. No problem. So he's supposed to plant them along this edge, correct? So the first one is 2 feet here. The next one is 3 feet between them, correct?
Yeah. All of us have 3 feet
Is there another row?
No, but the thing is it slants
It
down
slants
and then the
out.
last one is 14 feet
Away.
away from the wall. That's what I can't figure out.
So you're gonna have to use the Pythagorean theorem.
No.
Aren't you?
So what are you supposed to use though? Like where are the measurements?
Like, is the one that you're trying to find out the hypotenuse?
I think that would be it. So a squared goes to
Oh, no. So here, all we have to, this is all we have to worry
They're gonna have to, like, tender age.
I can't
about.
do
Your tension age, yes. Trigonometry is, hang the hog dog would say.
Multiplication.
Multiplication is good.
That's just such a good word.
I
Multiplication.
Okay, so here's the
think the
wall.
cow dog is on the top of my list for dumb. Sorry.
That's what we call hang the hog dog, because it's attending.
He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
like,
bother
he's
to
so.
listen.
He takes the corn dog.
Yeah, well. All right, so here's the wall. This is all we have to do. Just 14 feet out from this wall. The first plant is 2 feet.
That away. And then 3 feet.
Then 3, then 3, then 3. So you have to figure out how many chunks of 3 feet you have here.
I don't know.
So how are you going to figure that out?
Very.
So, once you take 2 feet away from this 14 feet, what do you have?
12.
So the distance between the last one out here and this one right here is gonna be 12 feet. So these are 3-foot sections.
So there
So
should
how
be
many?
4 of those.
Four.
Four 3-foot sets.
So there's
4 sections.
6 plants. What do they want?
Did you do
There's
that?
5.
There's 5 plants.
No. That's what they want, right? There.
Yes.
Okay, I need one
Is there a
for 6
formula?
too.
No, right.
Yeah, okay, we're not done with 6 at this point.
How about 18? I got 18.
Oh, I got
Okay, I'm not sure what I did wrong, but
What's your answer for 18?
would be 15 divided by 5. Yeah, I got 35. 15 divided by 5 is 3.
Okay, so square root of 225 is 25.
75 and minus 13. So that would be a negative answer?
No.
Wait, 70.
So you start with 25, right?
No, 15.
No, 15, all right. So 15 plus 5 is
Divided by 5 is 3.
plus 5. Oh, that is divided by. My bad eyes.
And then times 25 is 75. Yeah, 75.
75 minus.
Oh, okay. Now I see what. Okay, yeah, I see what it
Okay,
is.
perfect. All right, other questions. So number 6, we'll maybe talk about that tomorrow if we have time. Don't worry about number 6 for tomorrow. Or maybe this afternoon. Say what?
We're not doing it.
Not today. Don't cross it out or scribble on it or anything silly. All right.
As is.
As if you would. But the thought never crossed my mind.
Mr. Crit,
Yes.
Mom and Dad are gonna be gone over this weekend, so like I need to know if there's anything you specifically want for Christmas before they leave.
Something I want specifically. You know, as you get older, you start thinking about things like getting your bills paid. Free
I don't
water.
think they're
It's
gonna.
like that, it was like,
Electricity.
it's like, oh, Mike, this is coming to Christmas, and I can never think of what I want. All the time I want, gift cards. Hold it, are we just gonna program practice the whole day?
No. We do the program practice that week.
We gotta read the Bible. Oral days.
So what?
Number 20.
Are we reading,
Tell me about number
are we
20.
singing for literature?
I just had an issue with
I'm
it.
not typing.
So I wrote it out. I didn't write it out, but I did. 20. Let me see. Okay, and then look, it doesn't actually, the places don't keep themselves. They don't. I have.
Yes, 3x minus 2y minus 2, correct? 3x minus 2y plus 2, what's the wrong
Minus
one?
2.
Minus
And then 2x plus 1.
2x plus 1, alright.
You do it that way, Chris?
That's
Take
not much
out
better, this is
negative
good.
2,
Negative 2,
and then you have negative 2y. And then you have 3x. Okay, then you have a space.
yep.
And then you have negative 4x.
Okay, so now what we do here is we don't put anything here, it doesn't take it.
Okay, negative 4x. And then you have negative 4xy. And then you have 6x. Squared, yeah, squared.
Okay. So when you reorganize this,
So you don't actually have to,
you don't have to put, you
Okay.
only line them up
okay, I
If
didn't
they-
realize that.
if they line up with the stuff above them. So we just write that out, negative 2, negative 2y, negative x, negative x.
Yeah, I have that one.
Yep, and then negative 4xy and 6x squared. You should probably put the 6x squared over here. Because that's the way they're gonna have it, but you don't have to. I'm fine with this, so I'll come to problem. It is time for recess.
We're not having reading or Bible today.
No, I do normally have Bible.
No, we don't.
We don't need it.
Yes, yes, I forgot about, I had a thing going on in my head. I was thinking they didn't have Bible, and I was trust yours out at the same time.
Do we
You
need
did
it
Bible.
today?
No. I tell you, I am slipping with my memory even worse than I ever have.
That's okay.
Is it slipping on our side?
As long as you don't slip and think that we have to do like 5 lessons in the Bible. That would be nice, but as long as you slip it.
I don't think I'd forgive you. Can't do that.
Jersey. come up with something for us to do this recess. Where did I put my lunch? I don't think it's in the box.
And 1 through 5, yeah. Is Mark Twain or Charles Dickens better?
Bad question, that's-
Which one's older?
I have enmity toward Charles Dickens.
Why?
I just don't like his books. Sorry.
Are they boring?
So what?
Which one's older? I just don't listen to them
Charles Dickens.
or read them.
Which one is which?
Older.
Older? I don't know. I would have called them about contemporary if you were on this one.
I don't listen to them. I don't think so.
Probably.
Because then
Well, no, like the 1800s. I mean, so
he was like
Mark Twain would-
modern.
not really. Mark Twain would have been
Huck Finn
Like
and
his
like
life
1860s. Is more American.
Yeah, it's more American. I was just thinking about like how brick-headed Americans are. They're like, they're just brick-headed. That's what they are. A lot of them. Not necessarily a bad thing. Buddy, I don't know who's writing yours. On the description.
Oh, it doesn't say.
So,
Oh, it's some.
you'll be surprised.
Yeah, I'll be surprised.
a good time to stop because the other team beat last time too.
And they won't change a single
That's okay.
Well, from the way I saw it, it was barely the other team's fault that the ball went in, so.
Can still be.
That like hurt. I was standing there and I like had this, I had my arms out like this and I was gonna try to
Because you
pick up
can
all
none
the
of us
way
touch it besides Christopher on our team. None of us touched it besides Christopher. On our team, it was Cody and Richard that were on
That
that.
was
Yeah.
your fault.
Okay.
that ball. That one.
I thought somebody else deflected it too.
They never.
Yeah, it was just Richard, but did you hit it?
He grabbed it and went right through.
Yeah.
This one right between
It's
it.
a really
Slowly
lucky hit.
bounced in.
I know.
It's like
Yeah, I
doink,
feel like it's
doink.
like golf
Those are
versus
terrible.
just really-
Yeah.
I was so scared.
All right. So the Bible that we're not doing today is the stuff we're doing today, and also typing, which yes, there are blank keycaps coming.
Yeah.
Wait, well,
It's all your fault.
So we don't have to do number 6 in math.
no, we might do it tomorrow. Not sure. I'm actually just, yeah. I remember being very, very upset at my teacher
What did your
when he
teacher do?
went ahead and counted my keys. But I was,
He's putting tabs on them so we can't look at the letters.
What letters?
anyway.
I would probably fit them too.
I am offended.
How can you
It's
see
going-
what it-
It's going to teach you to type much better.
You just gotta. figure
My
it out.
typing is like where's that one?
No,
Right there.
you're not supposed
That's my
to.
time.
You are supposed to
Find the key.
just press it.
You find the key as you send the book.
You're supposed to know where it is.
It's a search and destroy method.
Like my boss, my old boss is like, hey, he's I can type way better than you. You have to use all your fingers. I only use 2. I'm like, right.
That's true.
Go with that.
It's true.
On the other hand, he got approximately 4 words per minute, and I got some more than that, which is why I was hired.
Well, I'm okay, but I'm right now in the middle of doing the lessons again, so I mean, I probably won't hurt that much.
I know. I'm in the middle of.
But there's still
I really want to do the
skills-
speed test. I should do this one
there's
speed
still
test. I hate
these
to-
screens, so it's fun.
I hate laptop keyboards are just
Well, I know.
just terrible.
Well,
The one on my computer, I was always, I mean,
I have so much extra space for that.
well, not only that, you have a touchpad there. So all of a sudden, you select something off the model line.
Yeah, I know.
I don't like this because I can't.
So what I got is just an external keyboard, and you can turn basically, it's backlit, and when the lights come on, then you can see the numbers, and then when they're off, then you can't. So there you go. Now you see me, now you don't sort of situation.
How often do the lights come off?
I will turn them off.
No.
I will cut the wires if I have to. But you are not going to use the lights.
I
It's
still
just
have
basic.
another year of typing.
Exactly, you're going to be so good.
That's okay. Are we gonna?
I've been typing every day. Yes.
But like next year, when we go to typing, are we gonna have to do that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right away.
Yes.
Yes.
Right away.
It is easier if you start.
I already started typing.
Mr. I'm gonna be sitting there pushing
No,
one.
they start you with, no, it's really simple. They start you with just like 3 or 4 letters, and you just learn where they are.
I've seen that stuff before though. It's a pain. It's
Genius.
Well, if you like, okay,
Well,
where's
that's
that?
the other thing is
Start
it's
pressing all
stupid.
these letters until I find the letter I thought needed.
Well, I'll put it this way. No, you'll get good at
No,
it.
you learn.
You'll get good at it. It doesn't take long to learn. It's just like Bible memory, only easier.
It's worse than Bible memory.
No,
That's
so
what you
I've learned to run some very complicated equipment, and it's all the same thing. So like with joysticks and buttons and stuff, to where I can go back to now. I'm not sure. It's been about 4 years since I ran one of them, but it had more keys than a keyboard, and joysticks and buttons on those, and I could sit there without looking at my hands and run the thing. It's not.
Well, you already memorized where it all was.
Right. So you memorize it, you start by looking at it, but you have to look out the window, because if you don't look out the window, you're going to break something.
Yeah, see, I'm still learning how to type. So I
You're
should
going
be
to
able
work way
to look at.
better when I get you a blank keyboard.
I'm gonna have to memorize.
Yes,
Whatever.
that's exactly the point. You better start doing that. 'Cause this is
I know
showing
most
up.
of the letters, it's
What
just
are they coming? I'm actually
Nervous.
Yeah, I only got one,
I'm actually
$40.
really excited about
So
it.
you only got one for me.
So we're gonna have to share.
It's only for Lisa.
We can
Yeah,
share.
that's
Or I suppose I could just buy 2 more and $120 for the shares. What's the difference?
I don't know.
The total laptop. So we're ready for lesson. You're doing lesson 4. We're doing check lesson 3 though. You're not me, but not me. There goes my
Every now and then.
Don't. Your life will be
My
much easier.
fingers are on the ones yet.
You shouldn't have to.
Should have.
You're gonna
Life
type
is
it,
so
look at
hard
your
typing.
fingers. Same as always following all the rules. Try this thing first. Take your hands off. Don't look. Try to put them back on the keys. Feel for that bump. That goes on your index finger.
This is.
Get them back on there without feeling. And
I
without
feel.
you can feel them? Perfect. If your hands are in the right position, you don't have to look.
No.
ASDF.
G-H. J.
That's how it is. You know that's where your fingers are already. And now you know Q is up here. W-E-R-T-Y.
Y-U-I-O.
I know how to do Word.
Perfect. So you know where they are. So why are you complaining?
It's so hard.
No, it isn't.
I think I should move out of this classroom somewhere to type by
Good luck.
myself.
Can you take those off once they're on?
No, I'm getting her an external keyboard because I couldn't figure out a way to get caps on that. I can't. The one way I could do is I could paint them, but I'm not going to do that. That'd be stupid.
Yeah.
Why are all the computers?
Although effective. I mean, you have $120.
Mr. Ken,
I've seen this one before and it's like.
easily get stickers and cover everything.
Yeah,
we
You
get our own
get a little
piano.
smiley stickers.
I know.
I've seen this
That
one.
hard.
Like she just said, actually, in the first video. I don't like the feeling of that, and you miss it. You wind up losing your phone.
No.
You could just put 2 on it. It's solvable. That's what I'm saying.
You would miss your bug.
I've seen this
Why don't I have
one.
any stickers? I should find some. It's nice.
Yes,
Why?
sir.
You put.
Okay, I can play the piano,
Let's check
yes,
lesson 3.
but that's really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
I should learn the piano just to prove that it's not
You
that hard.
should.
It's not hard, it's just,
It's one of these kind of problems.
the left hand is more the hard
It's,
one.
Mr.
Can't
Ken,
be hard.
if you want to learn how to play the piano, or any instrument for that matter, get a platform. Your
Harmonica.
wife will thank you.
I could play the harmonica. I can get a violin, so it really
I have a violin.
Oh,
but-
yeah.
I have.
Oh.
I have to practice my violin in my room. At least I used to. But like, and holy shit, we got a big piano that we can't turn down the sound. Whenever she's practicing, you put on earplugs and hide under your bed.
What is that?
He's not that bad.
All right, number 1 on page 12. The baptism of John. The baptism of John, was it from heaven or of men? Number 2 is 4. Number 3, the one who claimed the inheritance.
I have the ones take over the baby over.
Yeah.
For number 1, what was it?
The baptism of John, was it from heaven or of men?
What was number
Not
two?
what I
Hmm?
What was number two?
Number 2 is 4. That is actually a really interesting question because no matter what they said, they were kind of in a world of hurt. If the baptism of John was from men, then they shouldn't be making such a big deal of it. Because, yeah. If it was of God, then they should honor it. So that was what their struggle was. So it made them mad. Number 4, their authority over the Jewish people depended on the people thinking that they were good servants of God. What they have.
Where, which one?
Their authority over the Jewish people, for number 4. Their authority over the Jewish people depended on the people thinking they were good servants of God. So they had to keep up that facade of faithfulness.
I have the 11 on how one in respect to corrupt before.
Functional.
I have because they wanted to keep their authority and wanted the people to think they were good servants of God.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
That's good. Number 5, Jesus would ask them why they had not believed John, and B, they might be stoned by people.
I have, for A, I have because they rejected.
Yeah, right.
And then for B, I have the people believe God.
Here's my description for Miss, like, I wrote about Miss Angela.
Yeah. Teacher. All right. Yeah, that's kind of.
For B, I have the people recognize John's authority.
Yeah. So the people would be mad at them. And C is a no, unless you have good reasons for yes. Number 6. The rulers of the Jewish people, or the priests, scribes, and elders, or something like that.
That's God.
I have Jesus.
Ooh,
Oh wait, I have Jews. It's not Jesus.
Jews. Oh, yeah, that'll work. The husbandmen, my bad, not the owner. The people who are holding this. Who are
I thought it meant the owner when I read it.
And 7, the prophets.
I just have God's messages.
Yeah, that'll work. 8, the church, which is open to all people.
I have the Christians.
I have those who serve God.
I have everyone who believes.
That's good. And 9, Christ will fall on this person, so he is crushed in judgment.
I have they will be ground to powder. Yeah, I do too. Well, that's what it says.
I have hell and eternal torment.
Right, yeah, so
I have thrown out of God's kingdom.
final judgment. Yeah. Number 10, A is founded.
I have the
Founded the nation of Israel.
I have 22.
Right in. Oh, those are all
Did you
pretty
do
good.
what
I
now?
want to have founded. Founded. B, they have law.
I have Bible.
That's a good start. That's kind of the right direction. I want law specifically. So just don't mark it on.
I have the prophets to guide them.
The prophets were to warn them, I guess. The law
They
is
were
what they're supposed
also
to
to
live
guide
by.
them.
And they're also supposed to live by the Bible.
Not everybody had access to all the prophets.
They know what the prophet said.
And no,
Yeah.
the law and the prophets. Write in law. Because there are some sentences and some phrases about the law and prophets. The law is specifically what they wish for. C, preserved, saved, something like that. And D, son.
For C, I have he delivered and united him as a nation.
We need preserved, specifically. 11, heir. H-E-I-R, heir. And 12, Jesus. 13 is A and C. 14, your verse. And he beheld them and said, what is this then that is written? The stone which the builders rejected, the same has become the head of the corner, Luke 20:17. 15 is 1 Corinthians 3:11, or verses 10 and 12, apparently. 16, I'm sure we wrote a fine list. 17, the chief priests and scribes. 18, they saw and praised his glory and goodness.
I just love him.
Okay. Page 733. Did we talk about that in lesson 2? Ah, yeah, number 8. On lesson 2.
What was it supposed to be again?
They saw and praised his glory and goodness.
I have
From
no
Lessons
voice.
of
Acts.
Show. Yeah, that's a good one. His is mostly right as well. Don't come up for that one either. Just writing, they saw and praised his glory and goodness. This will show up, I'm afraid. 19a, the Jewish religious leaders.
The Pharisees.
The religious leaders, yes. And recognize and accept who Jesus was.
See the light.
I have get to heaven.
Mine's wrong. Try to teach the people. Is that one right?
Not really. Neither is Leah's. What's yours, Chris?
Or which one?
For 19b?
Recognize and accept who Jesus was. Is mine wrong?
Yeah, take off for that one. 20 is Hosanna.
I almost was writing in Hallelujah, but
Hallelujah.
wait a second.
Nebuchadnezzar. 21. It's like any word can be a swear word. Anything else, depending on how you say it. Nebuchadnezzar. Macaroni. 21.
And cheese!
And cheese! 21. They will be affected.
I have you in for our prayer.
I have, it says, what will our prayers be like when we pray? I have, they will be trusting in God and not greedy.
Man, it's a really long-weighted word, whatever they're trying to get out of that.
I had to look back to that one.
You find it?
Yeah, I did too. I had to look back for it too.
But you found it?
Yeah.
Okay. If it was findable, then what do you have in your retreat?
I have, our prayers will be trusting in God and not greedy.
That's what I thought the answer was. Their education.
Like I said, what will our prayers be like?
Right in, they will be effective. That's word for me. That's the thing we're going for. 22. Any places people gather to worship.
I just have the church. I have the temple.
The church.
That's, yeah, roughly. Right.
For 12, I have the church instead of Jesus.
Yes. It's
Is
Jesus.
that wrong?
Yeah.
You got 100%.
I never.
I find that once in a while I got 100%.
Where did my ease grader go? That's the question.
22 points?
42.
Since you're on,
I was counting each word of the verses.
then 95 sound all right?
Yeah. Did you ever just kind of get mad at the Pharisees and Sadducees, and then you're like, oh, man, they sure thought they were doing the right thing, I bet.
Well, they should have thought wrong.
So what would happen if all of a sudden, like, we think we're doing the right thing, but we're thinking wrong?
Well, I don't know.
Test on that for a second.
That'd be really bad.
Yes, it would be. Absolutely, it would be very bad. Okay, what else am I doing? I'm going to purchase something so that I can make it back from vacation. Seems to be important.
seems to be important.
I was going to buy something so that I could make it back from vacation.
What was it?
I think it's apart from a Jeep back from Wisconsin.
Bringing your other Jeep back?
Not the one without the top. The,
Which one is that?
this one, it's called Jack. Is his name.
You're bringing Jack over here?
Green Jack, yeah.
Jack.
Is he pretty tough?
That book pretty much wrecked the name Jack.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, and this
No, no,
actually, we
it's
had
alright.
just named our new puppy Jack before.
Well,
We
it's like
started
there's
reading the
something
book,
that
and
made
then-
the book is like,
Yeah.
like
That name.
Grandma was gonna name her one puppy Sasha, and she
True.
changed her mind because that lady that got murdered. And she didn't every time she.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Yeah, somebody's gonna come kidnap your dog or something.
Yeah.
Dog back, the dog.
The Jeep that I want to bring out is a 1989 Cherokee. There's a picture of me in front of it, which is not a good picture.
I wanna see it.
You know what, when I started without looking at it, down to 11. I'm supposed to be at 30 words in it. I'm not in 24. My highest is 24 with looking on this one, so no, it was more than 24.
Well, you'll get there. Your speed will pick up to a way higher.
Now
number
we're down
if you
to
don't look.
14, yeah.
If you're not looking, you will get higher speeds in the end. You won't get
In the end.
In the end.
Doesn't take just as long as the other ones took me.
Oh, there it is. There's me and little CJ and Kyler about a year ago.
Who's CJ? A dog.
You just a puppy.
Mhm.
Is CJ kind of a nitwit or is he a good dog?
Depends on the day.
You know, and then jumped on you and spilled the coffee.
And I'm really excited about having that Jeep out here. Sure, it comes a little distance.
Actually, I need to see that again. I just looked at you and Jack instead of Oh, okay.
Good job.
Not Jack, I mean CJ.
CJ. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Both few, several, many. Right on. These ones are always plural. Yes. So you have a plural subject and you need a plural verb. Correct. Leah, can list the other indefinite pronouns. Beginning with some without looking back.
No.
No. Without looking back. Some is one of them.
Any, no.
Yes.
I look now.
Yes. Some is no. All right. So let's pick out an indefinite pronoun out of this first sentence.
You.
Few. Is that the subject of the sentence?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it plural or singular?
Plural.
How do you know?
Students is.
No. I mean, yes and no.
I don't know.
How do you know that few is plural? Always is forever. Oh, I got to check here.
You look at the thing.
Oh,
I don't know if we're having.
Can I grade it myself?
no.
Great, Mike. You know,
So, yeah, because it's here in the, this is the reason it's plural, is because it is a plural indefinite pronoun, it's always plural. Richard, what about, actually, hang on. Yeah, Richard, what's our verb then?
Walk.
In this one? Few,
Oh. Word.
were is a verb. Good. And Chris, what is our subject? Settle, walk. Why walk?
I don't know if it's a plural.
How do you know?
Because it's in the plural category.
Yes. Exactly. All right. Good deal. And if it's not in the plural category, where do you look?
Like prepositional phrase.
In the prepositional phrase that follows it. You see what the subject or that is, whether it's plural or singular. All right. So we did what? Numbers 1 through 7, I think, in class. If I'm not mistaken, because let's pick an odd number and do that. Number 8 is do and most. And number 9, some and look. And number
And
10.
are.
Say what?
Isn't it?
Oh, and are. Yes, look and
There's
are.
two of them? I just circled it right before I went to
There are 2 of them now. I missed that one too. It's circled here in my book. So there's that. Yes. Number 10. So how you make it agree is you make it agree with the object preposition. 11. They have subject, verb, semicolon, subject, verb. Helen Keller is the first subject, was born as the first verb, and then she is the next subject, was is the next verb.
I conjunction.
So
I conjunction.
instead of the semicolon.
Yeah.
Okay, take a half point for that, please. And it is compound. Number 12, subject verb. Father is a subject, had been is a verb, and simple, is circle. 13, subject verb. Grandmother is a subject, was is a verb, and simple. 14, hyphens between rush and out. 15, hyphen in 23. And 16, hyphen in all day.
I have one between out and traffic.
No, just between rush and out. Rush hour.
I have one between quick trip. Quick trip.
Nope. As quick as where it all was. Those are a point decrease. 17. Pronoun 18 is adjective.
I'm now.
Where's pronoun going to? 19 is future. 20 is present perfect. 21, past perfect. 22, future perfect. 23, present. And 24, past. 25, VT for transitive, established is underlined, and routes is circled.
I have trade route.
That could also be.
I just
Trade
did
routes.
circle routes.
You did circle, that'd be a point. 26 is A, 27 is A, 28 B, and 29 is A. 30.
It's the only one we didn't do in class.
Oh wait, I skipped 30 to 31 and you. I could just circle from.
Adjective clauses are introduced. Well, if you tell the right answers to the class, then I'll let you have it. Adjective clauses are introduced by.
50-50 chance.
Subordinated connection.
You're wrong.
Aw.
But on the other hand, that makes 31
Subordinated
subordinating conjunctions. Right. Relative pronouns are for adjective clauses. Subordinating conjunctions are for adverb clauses. 32, quotation before when, and a single before gratitude, and then another single between gratitude and the question mark.
This is so stupid, I just got that wrong. Doesn't, it's like,
And then the double quotation outside. So, because gratitude is not a question, you do not put, it's not included in that quotation. 34 is fallible, 35 jeopardize, 36 intelligible, 37 hypnotize, 38 agonize, 39 feasible, 40 emphasis, 41 antagonize, 42 pulverize, 43 itemize, 44 apologize, 45 plausible, 46 comparable or comparable. If you could say it both ways, I guess. I looked it up. 47 inevitable, 48 despicable, 49 combustible and flammable, 50 is preferable, 51 flexible and pliable.
I must be a really good guesser on these because I only got 2 6-term. This is all time.
I was a pretty good guesser today.
I only got like
You got one wrong.
2.
Anyway, 51, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60, 51, 62, 68, 69, 70, 72, 73. Okay, so there's 73 total possible. You have 73. Still have a confidence in favor. I'm assuming it's somewhere laying around the confounded. So there's 73 possible, so say you got 69 right. So you go 73 minus 100 and you get wrong. You got 63. Divided by 73.
Oh, you rounded up.
You round it to the nearest. So if it's below half,
I don't think this is right.
I get wrong.
I got a bad grade. That's all. Actually, I was really bad.
Okay, and because this kind of calculation, you can't do that, unfortunately.
Yeah,
So 73 minus 4, so you go 69. And then divide that by 73.
95.
Yeah. All right. So, clauses. We know what adjective clauses are, we know what adverb clauses are. Right?
Sort of. I don't know. What are they?
Okay, so an adjective clause, we just talked about them. Chris, what does an adjective clause start with?
Adjective clause.
Yes.
Did I get it right once?
Yes. Adjective clauses start with relative pronouns. Alright, so that's like, give me an example of relative pronoun maybe.
Which?
Which,
Oh, yes.
whom, so on and so forth. Those are relative pronouns. Alright, and what do they do? Being an adjective clause, what would you expect it to do, Richard?
Modify now.
Modify now and answer
Adjective question.
adjective questions. Do you know what the adjective questions might be?
I can take some guesses.
Starts with which one?
Which one, how many, what kind, whose, how
Yes.
dumb.
Not that one. No,
Yeah,
write that one down.
that
That
would
one
be
down.
the one.
All right, adverb clauses. Ooh, A-D, A-D-D. What would you expect adverb clauses to start with? Leah?
Anybody's guess?
No, what do they start with? A group of things.
Birds.
No. These start with relative pronouns. What do these start with?
Subordinated.
Subordinating conjunction. Can you give me an example?
Because.
Yeah, that's one. All right. Perfect. And which questions do they answer?
It was an
Yeah.
I don't know. Both these are. I don't know.
Not both you several many. That's a whole different class of problem.
I don't know.
Cody, you know what questions adverb is?
How many, what kind, whose?
Those are the adjectives.
What kind? That could be a dumb question. That's the adverbs.
How, when,
How and where to
Oh, yeah.
How, when, where, and to what extent is right. All right. So, clauses. Let me see if we can find them.
What are we looking for?
We're gonna find just adjective and adverb clauses. And now we're talking about noun clauses, and you can feel free to not do any other work during this time, because this is part of, I think, what's causing our grades to go tumbling down. All right. Need everybody to be with me. All right. So in this sentence, right here, where would you? Can you find a clause for me?
That the dog is still alive.
Yes. I would say that would be a clause. And what kind of a clause might it be? Richard,
Adjective.
what is it describing?
Who's.
Oh. What?
That's not a good answer.
Glad? We'll just go with glad.
All right, let's break down this sentence. What is the verb?
Am glad.
Am glad is the verb. Well, am. Glad is something else.
An am.
Well, yeah, I don't think you can glad. Say what?
In front of the adjective.
That's what I would say. Yes. Well,
This is,
ooh, glad to say. Ooh, this is really inconvenient. This is not the sentence I wanted to break down because I knew there were some weird ones going on in here.
okay, next one.
We don't have to.
Am glad. All right. Subject is. We'll just include glad in verb. No. So I is a subject. Yes. All right.
She says infinitive.
Infinitive. Why?
Because it's just what it is.
Well, why is it infinitive and not a
Because
written?
it's a noun form uses, or verb form.
It's a verb form uses something else. Starts with to. Obviously, it's not a noun. All right. So that your dog is still alive would be describing,
She says.
right, which is say is a but a verb. So if that is describing say, very interesting.
No, it's an adjective first. For whatever clause.
That has to be an adjective phrase. I don't
Has to
care.
be.
Yes, it
That has
does.
to be an
It is
adjective.
because infinitive.
Here's what it's doing. And so here's what it's doing. Glad would be a predicate nominative, I guess, probably. Then word. I am glad that your dog is still alive, and we're going to say is an infinitive used as an adjective. That's what we'll say. That's
You
what I'll
can't
say.
use an infinitive.
That's not.
Yes, you can. You can do it. We haven't talked about it yet. You can do it. All right. So, I actually don't have an adverb for our phrase here. Our next clause, what he deserved, though it's something
Is
totally different.
what a relative pronoun?
He got what he deserved.
That is an adverb clause, I think.
Got.
Who is that?
There you go. He got what he deserved. All right.
Yeah,
There
it's
we
that
go.
one.
Brush up my clauses. The bottom one, though, is not an adverb or an adjective clause. This clause is
A
being
noun
used
clause.
as a noun. You're dead on. You can have a clause that acts as a noun. There's our clause, and it's being used as a noun. It has introductory words, things like that, who, whether, whomever, whatever, if. Uses those kind of introductory words. And it can be used as any place a noun can be used. So direct object, predicate nominative, noun, object of preposition, all the fun ways. We're going to talk about diagramming those tomorrow.
Use as an infinitive.
No, because an infinitive is a verb.
An infinitive is also a noun.
But
So it has
it's a
to
verb
be-
used as a noun.
Well, then you should be able to use it as an infinitive.
No, you just have to use this whole clause, gets lumped together into one thing, and it gets used as a noun. Same as honestly, any verbal, but this is not a verbal, this is a noun clause. All right, let's find some noun clauses.
You're doing number one.
So it says, they say that noun clauses can be used in the same ways as nouns, which is true. Any place you can find a noun, you can find a noun clause. The two most common places are subjects and direct objects. You seldom find them other places, but you can. All right, so number one. Chris, since you've already started on it, tell me about number one. Yes. So what is our introductory word? Yes. And how is it being used? It's being used as a subject. That's correct. All right. Richard, what about number two?
What I need.
Introductory word is,
What
and it is being used as,
subject.
precisely. Cody, number three.
That we are out of the dugout.
Dugout.
Whatever.
Well, we're trying to-
I was not really worried about that, but okay. That is the introductory word.
That is the introductory word. The word is dropped, by the way.
Yeah.
And how is it being used?
Direct object.
It is being used as a direct object. That's correct. It does mean it's a verb here. All right, number four, Leah. What's our noun clause?
That Christ will return
That's
to
correct.
direct
It
object.
is being used as a direct object. Don't forget to circle your introductory word. That is the most common introductory word for a noun clause. I will have to do 5 and 6 by yourself.
What's the least common?
I don't know. Maybe weather. Down to number 9. Oh, number 5 as well. All right, so let's look like this. Down to number 7. Supposed to bracket the noun clauses again. And here again, in a clause, you have a subject and a verb already, correct? That's how clauses work. Clauses have subjects, clauses have verbs. Even dependent clauses, which is what this is. These clauses don't work by themselves. They don't make sense by themselves, right? They are part of another sentence. So, number 7. Chris, what's our clause
Which one?
for number 7?
What they do.
What they do is our clause. What is the subject of the clause?
They
And what about do?
do.
Yes. What is what?
That's the one.
Introductory word?
Yeah,
You don't have to do anything with that one.
You don't have to do anything for that, no. But when you diagram it, it's a really funny thing.
I don't even want.
You diagram
No,
those?
no, no,
No, not
So-
today, no.
I don't want to
You
know.
put it up on a little tree.
No. I'm gonna cry. I can't see.
Don't cry. I don't have any training for that. Richard, what, at number 8, what is our clause?
Whoever lives in that house.
Mm-hmm. What's the subject?
Whoever
Whoever is the subject in this one, and what is the verb?
lives.
Precisely. Cody, what is number 9?
Whether Christy, oh, is that Christy?
Yep.
Had been called, had called.
Whether Christy is called. Okay. Whether Tristy?
Is it
No, Christy.
Christy?
Okay, so the subject is,
Christy.
and the verb is.
Had called.
Leah, number 10.
That our Redeemer liveth, and everyone being the whatnot.
Yes.
There's another one.
Yes.
I can't
There is another one.
Just
That
go
we
in.
shall stand at the latter day upon the earth.
That goes the whole way to
That's a
Earth, from
long
that to Earth, yes. Oh,
And then
boy.
everyone he and the only one shall stand.
Yes, I'm the he wants and shall.
So in the first one, it was Redeemer as subject.
The first one, yeah, the numeral. Hold, that would be a fun one to diagram.
No, it wouldn't.
Because it's being used as a direct object.
You can diagram it.
Oh, I would.
No.
So you go
We just
subject,
won't
I'm
pay
gonna move
attention.
along with my life. I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
Diagramming for fun. Never heard of such a thing.
Why is there one? A straight line and not a dotted line?
Alright. There you go. You guys
I
have-
never learned how to diagram.
Well, that's unfortunate. Oh, that is supposed to not be a dotted line. It's supposed to be a straight line.
What are those things again? What is it?
These are noun clauses.
Yeah, but we never learned it.
I don't think those things are good.
Yeah, we did. We
What?
did. I don't remember that.
I'm sure you did. It went to the grade line.
Yeah, we did those, but we never did. No.
They're supposed to be done on the pedestal. The introductory word is not the subject to its above.
Yeah.
All right. English.
You need a cursive on it.
I'm really being defeated by that. So we don't particularly have any checking from lesson 2, which is good. We did 2 through 5 in class. No, 1 through 4 in class. And 5 through 7, 5 through 8. I do need to look at those. I should have had them in yesterday. All right. The lesson for today is on planning the introduction and conclusion. Obviously,
Brains.
I would say the introduction is arguably the most important part of any speech.
I'm going to introduce you to my family and the future plan.
That's a really
And
neat
we
introduction.
live real lives.
So what?
We live real lives, and I don't have any memories of this kind of.
Well, then maybe you should have a thing to do memories about.
When I don't have memories about.
The person
Who remembers when they first learned how to ride a bike?
I do. I had to bike on Felix's bike through the lawn saying, I can do it, I can do it.
Ew, or something when I learned how to
The
ride
thing
a
that
bike.
really
I was
impressed me.
just little. I don't
My-
remember any.
My sister and I got a bike to share.
I remember the
Like a
bike.
training
It was
wheel
like
bike
a
or
little
like a
bike
bike?
all the road.
And
So fun.
and she went ripping along we had a long downhill driveway, and she went easing down it and ran into my grandpa's semi-trailer. A big cloud of dust. I remember that very specifically.
Right.
I rode next, and I was
That's idea, you know,
It's your first time?
I don't even
you
remember
know
the first
how
time
we
I did
sometimes get balance bikes for little boys that don't know how to. Well, Elijah had one of those, and then Zachariah, Mailer was trying to teach him how to ride a bike. He said, no balance bikes for him, but sometimes the mean and unrelenting dad works just as well.
No, you're
And I remember Dad doing that to me too.
Ride your bike.
He'd get one, I got very much, and he just got it, and just shut up.
What is this? What is this with gentle people?
Yeah.
No, my son
Just as
learned
she
without
started,
You
any
were my
training.
little fit and the
Yeah, all that Benji broke his training wheels.
All right.
Benji
Like,
did.
Mom, I want to ride a bicycle.
So here's the deal.
The Dale.
The deal.
Why do you want to
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know? I don't know
Not
where
yet.
you're at.
You go on around, Mark, and
Next
make sure that you catch my attention later. Right now, I'm
It's
gonna
just like one purpose
I
on
know,
my page.
I know.
I can't tell if it goes under.
go on to something else. I'll talk to you.
You need help with
No. Yes, so planning a speech, introductions and conclusions. So introductions, there's a few different ways to grab people's attention.
By throwing things.
Sometimes, yeah, you can throw things. Throwing things at people
That's
is one way to
that-
grab people's
that's my
attention.
introduction.
That's
I
not
just
that
started.
great of a system, though. Probably should only be used by teachers during a class when everybody's already gotten tired of all the awesome instructions.
I don't think.
Awesome.
We used to have those pencils that if you shake
Oh.
it really hard, the top would fly off.
That's not-
Those are the best ones.
There's a few different ways. They give you some ideas here. One of their ideas is rhetorical questions. So if you ask a question you're not obviously expecting an answer to, that would be one way. They have kind of some boring things. You know, if you could do anything you wanted on a warm summer day, what would it be? You're obviously not wishing for anybody in your audience to give any input, then you just answer the question yourself. For me, I would curl up under a tree with a good book.
Curl? Seriously? What? You
I
can
can
read
read
at night or in a rainy day. If it
That's
was
what
a
it
warm
says.
summer day, I would go swimming
I
at the
can't
lake.
do that.
Yeah,
like swimming or.
Yeah.
Now, that's why you guys aren't part of this class, but they are.
Because always when it's
All right.
sunny, you will have to be doing something else and then maybe out there when it's raining.
Yeah, right? Weird. Alright, so that's one way to start with a rhetorical question. You can obviously pick your rhetorical question if you like one better. Quotation from a famous person or source. So obviously, that would be one system. A startling or interesting statement. I do
Not
that.
today,
That's actually probably one of my favorite ways to
I
start.
have to do startling
A startling,
statements, but
a startling statement.
It wouldn't probably go with none of mine.
I'm gonna startle you
Yeah.
guys. 47 that month.
Of course, there's startling people with how many books they read that month, so there's
I
that.
probably, let me think.
No, that were red to him. Two. 47.
Anyway, an anecdote or personal testimony.
Like,
An anecdote is different than an anecdote. An anecdote is a short story. An anecdote is what you take after you've been bitten by a snake. Fact. So yeah, you can write a short. Some of them have a short story as part of that.
not today,
So that's the deal. You have to brainstorm at least four ideas you use as an attention getter. You don't have to use these particularly. Everything is fluid until the day you give your speech.
That's what I said.
Well, then you go and give your speech, you don't have to worry about it. I mean, you should probably use something at that point, but you should use some kind of an attention getter to, snag people's attention. And then, they say to copy the purpose statement you wrote in lesson 1, so
I did
either
that.
use that or revise
So
it,
number
write
one,
out the introduction for your speech. Yes.
number one, the brainstorm, is that for the introduction?
Yes.
The attention getter?
Yep, the attention getter for the introduction.
Yes.
That's absolutely right.
Put
So
it
then, you
right
have to
up
plan
front.
a conclusion. Yes, then you have to write the introduction for your speech.
And brainstorm ideas before the conclusion?
Yes.
I don't
So
even
the
know what
conclusion should
brainstorm
also be done carefully. I would still argue that the introduction is more important.
was.
But the conclusion is where you force a point home. That's where you leave a final impact with your audience, and it shouldn't be that weak. You know, if anything's gonna be weak, it should be something in the middle. The weak part of your speech. Do not say, I greatly appreciate my parents
I did.
and how they helped me to grow. My grandfather has still influenced my life greatly, but I won't take the time to tell you about that. I hope I can follow their example of being godly.
But it was great.
That is lame, partially because it's just lame. And second of all, because it mentions something you're not going to go into. Don't mention something you're going to go into. If you're not going to talk about it, don't mention it at all. If you're going to mention it, go into it.
I just meant, you could have just said, my grandfather has also influenced my life greatly, so thank you. You didn't have to say whatever.
Well, there you go. But don't mention that you're not going to go into it. I mean, either go into it or don't.
You should have just gone in.
The,
Actually, that's a good startling little thing. I'm gonna tell you guys about it.
it's like, alright.
That was chill.
So the deal is,
Too
one of the
much for your
systems,
little brain.
too much for your little brains, but, you know.
And my brain is so small
There's
and I can't.
often the
think.
best way to conclude a speech is a summary of key points. You go kind of through your key points and be like, and so anyway, hallelujah and amen at the end. And or one other way is a rhetorical question, which is, I'm not a big fan of rhetorical questions personally. I think they're kind of
They mostly stink when they just do it over and over and over.
yeah, don't use two rhetorical questions, whatever you do.
Oh.
No, don't just use one and then middle ask another one and then come back to your first one and
And
then.
what's even worse is a rhetorical question they expect you to answer.
Like,
Meh.
What if they take little breaks after that? And they're like, are you gonna?
Do you answer? Do you answer? It's almost as bad as somebody pausing after to say good morning.
Good morning, so.
Yeah, good morning. Hey, how's it going? People, and moving on. You could close with a famous quotation again, or another story. I would really recommend you don't use the same opening as you had, having the same conclusion as you had in the introduction. I would really not.
Even the person I'm not being.
Or, if you're in the middle of a persuasive speech, you try to prod somebody into action. Hit them with the counter prod.
I don't want to be the person that I am today. I don't want to be that person for the rest of my life. And so I don't think that's fair, their conclusion right there.
Which one?
some people.
Yeah. That's only for somebody who lives about 50 years.
Yeah, that's why I wrote this about my grandma. I was like, that's what.
Yeah, me too.
Well, yes, I see your point. I see your point.
How many more speeches or anything are they gonna make this week?
Maybe one more.
It should,
Okay.
after this
Well,
book.
this is
Yeah.
great.
Who I am to be. Who I'm going to be.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
And it all helped me give myself a good foundation
Yeah.
so I can grow into the person I want to be.
Here you go. Maybe that works.
No.
All right, then you're supposed to write a sentence that summarizes the main points of your speech, and then a conclusion for your speech. So, here's the deal. In the introduction, your topic sentence should be in there. Whether it's at the end of the first paragraph, or the beginning, or the middle, doesn't matter. Your topic sentence, or your thesis statement, or whatever they call it this time. Purpose statement. Should be in your introduction. And in your conclusion, you should have something that summarizes your conclusion.
Okay, so like for the introduction, my earliest memory is, the only one I can think of is seeing my biological mom for the last time. With her car seat she had, one of my little siblings. I can't remember the name.
I don't even know
Your
where
siblings' name. That's the earliest
I
one
can
that I was
barely
thinking.
remember. I really don't know what I had for breakfast.
My earliest,
I had eggs.
No, I don't know. I don't even know if I had anything. Did I?
Red toast.
I don't think
And I wasn't there.
I remember when I had
Anyway.
this one.
so that's the
Or last
deal.
minute.
That's what we're. Any other questions on this?
Yeah.
Questions, comments, troubles,
Oh,
troubles?
yeah.
Yeah.
I had so many times last time.
So, but that
I
made
know,
it
I
really
did
hard.
that. I remember seeing that.
The one I
The
said.
easy one.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Push me through that.
But then do I have to brainstorm for it? Yeah. I know I have to, what is it? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Brainstorm 4 ideas. All right.
I could just say Felix is little, so not today, dogs.
You better try harder than that.
How do you do when she was quite young, no one became ill with a mysterious fever?
What's your subject?
Helen.
Yeah, I forgot.
I just need help getting this deal when she was quite young.
Okay.
I was gonna diagram it as no positive, but I don't know that.
I think I did it as an adverb clause, and I'm sticking with that. So
All right. So the subject is.
I don't need help with the regular sentence. I
Let's
need help
do the
with
whole thing.
Helen.
Subject is Helen. Do another one.
Was.
All right.
Became ill.
Became. Ill is not part of the verb.
What is it, a predicate adjective?
I would say. You guys remember which? 4? No,
15.
15.
the only thing I
Yes. So we have became ill. All right. So now we have this when she was quite young. Ill. With a predicate adjective.
Red object.
Well, became is a linking verb.
Go ahead.
Okay. Underneath ill we have
Very. With a fever, very mysterious fever. It does under. That's what I have. That's the only thing I need to talk
fever. Right, because this is describing this nominative. Then a mysterious fever. All right. So now we do have a clause. When she was quite young. All right. So we'll just start here just by knowing it's a clause, and when is a what is when?
Subordinating conjunction.
Precisely. So that means what's the subject of the clause?
She
Verb.
was young. Well, actually,
Was young.
I don't know. Another predicate adjective.
Right. So now we have when, which because it's an adverb clause, it goes between. Verbs. Yes.
I need help.
Okay.
What's 3 taxes you may pay someday that people in Bible times also?
3 taxes you have to pay?
Yeah. I know.
What are 3 taxes people in Bible times have to pay? I don't know the answer to this. Boy, howdy, where did you come up with that question? And why?
What does that have to do with Bible?
Yeah, what he said.
I'm not real sure.
Yeah, like
It winds up being kind of a reading lesson at that point, but it's not really going to be something you want to help on that. All right. Oh. So there's some examples of taxes that paid, I guess. Did you pay an income tax? Apparently. And a property tax. Real estate. Income, property, export,
I already
and
have to
import,
pay income
and road
tax.
tax. See what?
I already have to pay income tax.
Yeah, if you make any money, you should be paying income tax.
I don't know if I do.
You have to pay taxes.
Yep.
Yes.
It's like if you're
No,
above,
I didn't
make a
hear
certain,
that.
make above a
If
certain
you're,
amount
if
a
you're
year.
under 12, if you make above $500, you have to pay taxes. But once you're
Yeah.
above 12, you just have to pay taxes. Unless it's like your dad gives you this for doing like, if you actually have a job.
Do you actually?
Oh, no. I
Yeah, I
don't know if I
know,
can.
I look at the flocks and then I pay taxes on both of those.
Like it's hard.
So
I don't know if I have.
you like to have this huge chunk of money like,
Richard, why don't
taxes.
Chop, chop, chop.
Richard, you ready to pay for the national debt? You are a good
Yeah,
citizen.
you got a little ways to go though, because that's $87,000 a person, or per taxpayer, so.
Income tax, property tax, and what other tax?
If I
Export,
were to
import
leave
tax,
it,
road
Four
tax.
hundred $99.99 you would have to pay. Seems like that could be arranged.
But the thing is, if you make more than that, then you still have more money in the end, even after you pay tax, hopefully.
No, if you make 500, you're not.
If you make exactly 500, yeah, then you're a loser all the way around. Back.
like,
I don't know if I
I'll
think
work
I-
all summer and then all year, just give me something.
Yeah, mom and dad give you at the end of December,
They
but I
probably
do
just
have a
think
job,
I
so.
My
You
dad
get
just
mine.
takes my checks
I
and
get
taxes comes like a year later.
I have-
But I get to pick some.
I have a
Like
check.
that this year I got
Or
mine.
dad, yeah, or dad will just write me a check, right? They'll cash it right away.
I should go cash my check.
All right. My first job was a produce farmer.
Was it what?
I was a produce farmer. I had never had a job that I hated so
That you what?
much. I hated it.
A produce farmer, like, vegetable. Why did you hate it?
It was terrible.
What did you sell?
Tomatoes, lettuce, watermelons, all the melons, corn.
What didn't you just?
Tomatoes are fun. to
Hey,
pick.
isn't there a quote like this by Mark Twain? Apparently there's nothing that cannot be done. It's something like that, but I don't remember the whole. That sounds like. Apparently there's nothing under the sun, or apparently there's something that cannot be. I'm just gonna say that it's that. And if it's not, I'll just say it's by.
Well, you can definitely look it up.
Mark Twain.
In the book of Ecclesiastes, there's mentions thing about the rain.
Dude,
No,
this
it's
is
not
so
that one,
dumb.
but yeah.
What does it say? This is so dumb.
Because that's how
They don't
you
get
start it.
anything
Apparently
into
there's
the acid
nothing that cannot be
anywhere.
done. Why is this
Six
going
is
on?
fine.
And many stolen cars.
That's
Joey.
okay.
How about it?
We could
Skip by the
practice spelling.
have lunch?
What?
I thought it was lunchtime, like 5 minutes.
No, 10 minutes.
Well then,
Your life is so hard.
exactly. It's just like
Okay, let's practice spelling word or two.
Word.
Or 2? Yeah, I'll go with 2.
Go with two.
How was one?
good.
Eighth grade.
That one makes sense. You get it to me more.
I did
This is a nice brown one.
I got the nice red one.
That's today, boss.
Where's my red one?
These are my three.
Oh, my red one.
Happy work.
I don't like this one.
It's a good red one.
You just.
That's a good red one. Oh, you. So there's your blue one.
I have some.
I have it. Nope.
Right into your first.
Hey, that's my red one.
I don't have any
I
connection, but I
think it's kind of mine.
still.
So you have to get
No,
your attention
never
by
like
grade.
That's what I need help with.
All right.
Can you tell what that says, Christopher? Can I just do two?
I would like.
I can't tell what it is.
I think we can come up with four.
I'm blind.
All right. Let me see.
I did.
Okay, that says
I
my
have
red
one.
Oh, wait. I was gonna do that. I have told you this quotation.
All right. Cody, you were saying that yesterday, correct?
That would be true.
Just, you could just.
Everybody else on this side.
Uh-uh.
Oh, you're
That's
on
right,
the
that's
other
right.
side. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, never mind. Doesn't matter.
I like
This is my earliest memory.
All right. So we'll do it this way.
That's what I had.
We will start
I had
with
my earliest memory.
inevitable, intelligible, combustible, feasible.
It is marker right there.
Inevitable, yes.
When we eat those gummy worms.
Yeah, when are we?
Combustible is ideal. Feasible is as well. Good job. Alright, and then preferable, plausible,
Okay, sorry.
agonize, emphasize.
I cannot remember.
Preferable. Think preferable, but it's just saying preferable.
Dude, this marker right there.
He's
that
got
red
only
one.
got ground in there.
Emphasize. Okay.
No, I got it.
Not today, the next time.
Flexible, pliable, antagonize, flammable.
Nah, that's not right better. Oh, yes. Way better.
You read pliable? I don't see it pliable.
Right about the marker.
Antagonize, good. And flammable, ABLE. Alright. No.
Yeah, I want that.
Hypnotize,
Right now.
pulverize, comparable, fallible.
I actually really like that pink belt. I didn't know you got a new one in there.
I know, I would have that one too.
You have pulverize.
See how,
You want
see
to
how,
try to pulverize.
see how smart I am?
Hypnotize,
Okay, just, that's a B.
not good, is it?
Calls it.
Fallible is 2 L's.
What?
Alright. Jeopardize, itemize, apologize, despicable.
I need to apologize.
Well, I'll tell you what to apologize for.
It's really.
I'll apologize to you. Alright, despicable. ABLE.
Hey, is mine good? Mine's good.
Geopardize.
Geopardize.
Geopardize. Yeah, alright.
Yeah, well,
Um,
I see.
erase your things,
Not with that.
and then
Erase.
erase them all. Cody. Do plausible.
Probably more than that.
You
Mine
do
has a
accents.
get together some meetings.
Yes.
Partner makes it all
And you do emphasize.
Yeah.
I'll take those.
Whoa, that's like
Emphasize.
black.
And you flexible.
Oh, I haven't seen it again.
That's cool. Emphasize.
Yes.
This, oh my goodness.
Alright,
I haven't seen it in the first 6 months.
pliable, antagonize, flammable,
Are you
what is
going?
that, emphasize,
No. She's coming out.
Emphasize.
So, Mom, was she?
EM.
The day before.
I don't even know what it is.
Emphasize. And, hang on, I'll give you a new letter. Okay, we're gonna do a letter too, right?
Which one?
No. Pliable, there we go. You're supposed to do antagonize, you haven't done it. Flammable, hypnotize,
Oh, flammable.
flammable, write it down. Hypnotize,
Press my marker.
antagonize, flammable, good.
I
Alright, hypnotize is the Z and flammable, yes.
I don't think I'm gonna get a very good grade on this one.
Well, that's what
What was my new one?
Don't cry when you
Um,
raise it. That's
I believe pulverized and comparable,
Look at that.
fallible,
I like the feeling.
jeopardized.
The markers won't. You know, use turbo tape. It's so much fun.
That's a good color though.
That is a good color.
I know, I love the color.
That does not.
You should
Itemize.
wave that one around.
Apologize.
I did, but it didn't
Despicable.
add anything. It took it away.
Inevitable.
Just a word.
Despicable me.
What am I?
Inevitable, no, hang on. You did
Swing
itemize?
this in a lot. It won't do it.
Apologize,
Apologize.
right now.
It makes the blood rush to your end of your hand and it hurts.
Right?
What?
Inevitable. Or intelligible.
It's your who words. What the?
Intelligible, combustible, feasible, preferable.
Combustible.
And up a little bit.
Probably.
No, it's 80.
Like,
Where's a good place to have it?
Feasible is good. Combustible, B-L-E.
I would be like, these are scary.
Combustible, B-L-E, not
I
L-E.
wouldn't like it.
Combustible.
How? Quick
This is what you had there.
Mm.
And feasible?
I got it.
No, hang on, not feasible.
Done this 3 times.
No, that's good.
Yes,
Two,
what?
that's nothing. Good job, and back to your seats. Do your thing.
I only have 2 for the
It's
grade.
both like grab it.
Okay, well, you have a little bit of time. It doesn't matter, if brainstorming is one of those things that it's hard to do on demand, and I understand that. So what you can do is you can go on and do something else. I think you have other things to do
I do
probably.
have algebra.
And as you brainstorm, you can write them down. That's not a tremendous hurry.
I need help. What options do we have in our response to Jesus drugs plunged?
Just read it. Yes, it is.
Yeah, and I don't have it anywhere else I can find it. Mine was just let it down.
Oh, we'll find the answer. We'll find where you can find the answer.
Alright, look back. Lesson 1.
You're going to find it on page 14, paragraph 2.
Page 14, paragraph 2. Okay, where's the answer for number 21? I can't find any of these.
Same place.
Is it hot lunch day?
I haven't heard anything about a hot lunch.
I know, I was wondering that too.
Why is there-
It better not be, because I already packed.
I know, like, I've
I
packed
got
lunches.
lunch.
I almost think it's next Tuesday.
Well, tonight there's that big, whatever.
There's a big hullabaloo.
Oh,
There's a big
banquet, right? Yeah.
What's the big banquet?
When you-
every
drink wine.
Mary and Jenny are definitely.
It's gonna be fun.
What are we gonna do?
I don't know, I just.
Run around.
Sounds fun.
Are we
Like
gonna
what we
play-
always do.
What,
I
tonight?
have a feeling we're gonna get here, we're gonna eat, and we're gonna sit there while we used to something.
Tear up the.
No, the youth are singing.
Well, I'm being outside. I'm not outside.
We can set up a volleyball and play roller.
It's time for
We should
lunch.
do something else.
Uh,
Other than sitting in
The
here.
neighbor.
Who's your aces? Who's?
Dear God, thank you for a beautiful day and thank you for the rain. And help us to be good and get good grades in our work. And thank you for the food that you provided and help us to have a good day. Everything we do, trust in Jesus' name.
Amen. Jeez.
They're fine. They're like really fun. It's just they're all in like they do it. To do that. It's really annoying though. Oh, did
I
you?
wasn't the one doing it.
Huh?
I'm the one that, when I wasn't the one doing it. How do you do it?
This is really cool.